So here I was just staring at my lore file scripts that I can't actually make a video out of, wondering what disasters led me to this area, when Dead by Daylight decided to drop a nice little teaser. Now, I've found this teaser to be, let's say, interesting, and as, I don't know, a lore person I guess I am, I decided let's delve into this. So, on first glance of this trailer, as you could see, it seems to be somewhat of a werewolf-like killer. But, as you know, a common glance and just a quick look tends to create a lot of misconceptions. Yeah, let's not bring up the whole Legion debacle again. So let's actually take some time, breathe, and actually look into what this tweet is about. As you could see at first glance, the definite thing that pops into most people's heads is this is going to be a werewolf. Now, thinking about it, I think the use of the word festering is rather curious. When something festers, a transforming werewolf is not exactly the first thing that pops into your head. You think of an infection, something growing. Honestly, things rotting away. To be honest, festering fits something like plague the best. So we could assume that this new character is heavily linked to rot, infections, and general decay. Now, it could be the generic werewolf killer, and Dead by Daylight could be pulling its Dead by Daylight chain and making things unnecessarily vague for people who look into it. But as someone who likes to delve into lore, that's kind of my pitfall. So far, I have at least two common theories. Theory number one, it is your generic werewolf. Big Fang Man turns into Fang Monster, probably dashes at the survivor, does a bunch of damage, probably gonna be your average mix of Demogorgon and Oni. Pretty standard stuff. Or, and now here's the fun one, this is the Alchemist. For those of you who don't know or don't care to know, in the first tome of the archives, we were given a story of the Alchemist, someone who had been doing experiments on the killers in the last chapter, looking for the pustula flowers. Gone crazed with addiction, he vowed that if he could get just one little bit of the pustula flowers again, one injection, one more dose, that he'd do anything, absolutely anything, tear apart killers, survivors, anything. Now, who's to say our mischievous little entity didn't answer this pleading man's call? Give him as much power as he possibly can, give him as much doses as he possibly can, as long as he makes true on his word of tearing up the survivors. In the actual cutscene, we see that after injecting himself, he does seem to transform or alter his body. Something that could be mirrored in the little teaser we got. If you do listen closely, there are the vague sounds of something smashing, like glass. This could possibly be the syringe or one of the mechanics that we see. His rotting and filtering away could be a recourse of his, let's say, withdrawal. We know the pustula flowers do mutate, but we don't know the case of what happens when you're withdrawn from them. Maybe your body starts to rot. Maybe the mutations start to rot away. Which would pretty much achieve what the festering is. Or maybe his hunger and complete craze is making him slowly get progressively worse and worse. What we won't do for our desires and indulgement. Hopefully, we end up finding out what this trial is. And hopefully, it ends up being something a little bit better than a generic idea. I, for one, can't wait for the PTB to hit. Curiosity here. What do you guys think? Do you take the video at face value and assume that the quote-unquote painful transformation is a werewolf? Quite fitting with the whole genre of that type of monster. Or do you try to look too deeply into the text that came with it? Do you think that it's the Alchemist, twisted and mutated by his serum? Or how about an even unique perspective? How about a mixture of both? We didn't actually end up seeing what the Alchemist transformed into. Maybe a mutated blight werewolf is exactly what we're going to get. But until the day comes, on the PTB, we are kind of up in the air. As a console player, I probably won't get the chance to actually experience it, but my fascination is on top edge. So people of the fog, let's just see what our new festering creature might be.